And Virginia, of course, trying to come back from their start in their first game, in which they went down 0-3 in the first quarter.
Well, that might have been a good wake-up call again. That even the players that I talked to said they were nervous coming into the first quarter of the game, obviously with all the build-up from 2021 National Championship. So for them, the first quarter was a little bit of a tough start, but then they went out and outscored Air Force 17-3 in the second and third quarter.
And it looks like Virginia is going to get off to a hot start here. A face throughout those early offensive possessions. They lost the ball on a broken down clear, get it right back, and find the first goal of this game here in Klockner Stadium, and now it's Lasalla trying to fight for the ground ball. Loose, it'll go to the pole.
We're gonna have a flag down right there. It's gonna be a push, so Virginia will get a chance to play man.
Back in the net. Would you like to see a change of planes? Absolutely, but a goal's a goal, and the Cavaliers will take it as they tie it up at ones with 8:37 remaining.
And that low shot on the damp field is the best shot, a three-quarter sidearm release. Nice ground ball there by Scott Bauer. So Virginia 13, and as I said before, it's been both high scoring and very competitive.
And it's the Virginia Cavaliers making it competitive early out of the break. Shots.
He found
phenomenal player.
He found his player that he most depends on is Brandon Maia, who tying it at 2-2.
Petey Lasalla going to get that one all by himself and take it down into the box, settle things up for Virginia. It looks like Schellenberger might be getting the lock off as Lasalla takes him behind.
Lasalla's one of those face-off men who stays in the game. A lot of time with face-off men will win the face-off and give it to their offense and get off. In the case of Petey Lasalla, we've seen him score some big goals, particularly in 2 national championship games, and so they're comfortable letting him stay and forcing the face-off man for High Point to have to play defense, and that's something that Virginia uses very effectively. So right now, Colin Hoban is going to have to stay in the game and defend.
Schellenberger fighting hard. There's the feed, the shot. The pass intended for number 24, Peyton Cormier. Didn't get it. It was actually Schutz who ended up with the ball and fired it off.
You don't see a lot of face-off men playing at X, but that's what they have Lasalla doing.
And a quick slide there sends Lasalla to the ground twice. High Point with the ball again, and Schellenberger trying to create some distraction on the ride.
Coach Tiffany looking for a push right there.
X, no look feed right to the top. Allows more the time and space for that step down shot. He just buries it in the back of the goal. Green and goal.
Well, you always go back to the run out, and it's closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds, and not necessarily who's closest to the sideline, and that's exactly what the officials saw. It's that Whalen was closest to the ball when it went out, even though the angle looked like High Point was closer.
Ball inside the box. On Virginia's defensive end, fighting for the ball was Knowlton. He ended up with it. Now Virginia trying for a fast break. Saustad pick. Programs having done so, as you can see on that graphic, Princeton and Johns Hopkins. Virginia looking to be the third program to join that bunch under head coach Lars Tiffany, as High Point wins that face-off out of the break.
On the field, or whether he's going to have to retreat, go down and play extra man defense.
When you want to talk about trust, lining Scott Bauer up even with the face-off X, didn't need him to drop back at all. Now he's going to have to hustle, as the Cavaliers really can't emphasize enough just how quick he is. You could tell watching that replay that as soon as he split left, he had him. A phenomenal attackman at the beginning of his sophomore season. Now he's on that stick from Xander Dixon, just softly receives and sends it right back into the back of the net. The Cavaliers have the ball again with 8 seconds remaining. Thought about a long shot, but instead Coach Tiffany going to call his second.
That they expected, and this is the kind of competitive game that you see nationally between two teams that are not in the same conference.
And with 30 minutes left in play, a lot could happen. Virginia trying to hold on to their 2-goal lead after a bit of a breakdown at the end of the first half. Following a Connor Schellenberger goal, they couldn't convert on their second attempt, but it did put them up 2. Now being met tenaciously on defense is Petey Lasalla trying to find some open space.
Now, one thing it looks like High Point's going to do, they're going to take the face-off man away.
Game seemingly a breakdown of communication, whether the slide should be coming across the crease or adjacent from up top.
Well, that's the offense that High Point likes to run. They like to run the pipe extended dives. They like to drive off a GLE and create those situations, either the cross cage feeds or the drive down the pipe. and the ball just skipped under, stayed low on Matt Nunez, and so that's one of those kind of shots where it's more about the placement than anything else. And now you're going to have a push on Virginia on Gable Brown on the face-off. Face-off win. Any one player who's dominated. Braden Maillet is so good. They've had some broken clears and some mistakes on defense.
And it was a miscommunication between the D-mid, Jackson Clay, and the long pole about who would make that slide. Just gave him all the time and room in the world, and now Virginia, controlling the face-off, is going to have a little bit more time on their hand.
This is where,
with an early performance like this season, you got to expect a first-team bid, hopefully, throughout the rest of the season.
Well, his first year was the freshman of the year in the ACC as a midfielder. So
how many times does it feel like we've watched that same exact shot from Garneau today, right in the middle of the field, step down, now buries it twice. But the first successful man-up opportunity the Cavaliers have had.
Shoot.
And with a player like that, that's one of the shots that Nunez is going to have to become accustomed to brushing off his shoulder and letting go by. As
Will is the top three teams in the SoCon have all played an ACC team in their first games. Jacksonville was Duke, Richmond played Carolina on Friday, and of course now High Point playing Virginia. So that has become a good series of a conference between the SoCon and the ACC.
Jeff Connor takes a big hit on that fake.
That he would give it up to an attackman, so that's a huge turnover goal right there.
Let him take the shot, and Virginia paying the price for it, now only leading by 2. A huge face-off for the Cavaliers to try to get control of. It looks to be in the stick of Chismar, however, brought to the ground, still fighting hard for it. It looks like...
What do we got?
There's going to be a whistle, and in Chismar's stick, it was a Lawrence Tiffany of High Point. But finding the back of the net, they bring this within 1. 8 minutes remaining. Trailing down the number 1 of Virginia Cavaliers.
Big face-off win for Petey Lasalla for Virginia. Virginia, the one thing Virginia can't do with this much time, they can't play conservative. They got to keep playing as if they want to attack the goal.
And a tricky pass there by Lasalla, slow to get
line extended.
And it didn't even feel like Green was expecting that shot from Dixon as he came up so high around, just whips it around, and now Lasalla doing his part with the face-off win.
Yeah.
Loose ball, Virginia and after Knowlton certainly happy to find his stick in regulation there. Up to a 3-minute penalty, as you mentioned, would be detrimental for this High Point offense that's trying to build on momentum. Petey Lasalla continues to shut it down at the face-off X, though. Now he's going to carry it down. Smart to not take a shot with the defender on his shoulder. He'll go to Schellenberger, and with 3:52 up 1, the Cavaliers